around by bad actors.
Resuming debate, the honourable member for St. Albert Edmonton.
Madam Speaker, I rise in strong support for the concurrence motion that this House support Taiwan's participation at the World Health Organization as well as at the World Health Assembly. The 75th World Health Assembly is set to convene in less than a week, May 22nd through 28th in Geneva. Without more, Madam Speaker, there is no legitimate reason for Taiwan's exclusion from this international health forum. It should be noted that attendance at the WHA does not require statehood. Indeed, it is commonplace for non-members and NGOs to attend the World Health Assembly as an observer. Taiwan itself attended the WHA as an observer for 8 consecutive assemblies between 2009 and 2016. There is only one reason, and one reason alone, for Taiwan's exclusion, and that is politics. Politics by the Chinese Communist regime to deny Taiwan its rightful seat at the table since 2017. Madam Speaker, this is part of a broader campaign of aggression being perpetrated by the Chinese Communist regime to delegitimize and isolate our democratic ally, Taiwan. In the face of this escalating campaign of aggression, it is imperative that Canada take every opportunity to join with her allies in standing up to Beijing's bullying and standing with Taiwan. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. And part of standing with Taiwan is to support Taiwan's participation at international fora, including the upcoming WHA. Let me, Madam Speaker, take an opportunity to underscore the importance of Taiwan's relationship with Canada and Canada's relationship with Taiwan. Because make no mistake about it, Taiwan is not some peripheral state in terms of Canada's interests. We share important economic ties. Taiwan is one of our largest trading partners, the 13th largest in the world, the 5th largest in Asia, with $8 billion of annual bilateral trade and growing. We share strong people-to-people links with Taiwan, hosting the 4th largest Canadian diaspora in the world. And most importantly, Madam Speaker, we share common values. Taiwan is a vibrant democracy committed to freedom, pluralism, human rights, and the rule of law. And Taiwan's friendship with Canada was demonstrated in the early days of COVID-19. In the first months of COVID-19, Canada had a PPE shortage. And Taiwan can help, and Taiwan did help by providing and donating, in fact, more than 500,000 surgical masks to frontline Canadian health workers. That's something that Canadians should remember for a very long time, that when Canada needed help, Taiwan was there at a critical period of time. Aside from the importance of our relationship and the common ties that we share, Taiwan is a major leader with respect to international health and international health security, again prominently illustrated during COVID. Taiwan provides many lessons that the world can learn, having had among the most successful records in dealing with COVID. Among the measures that Taiwan undertook was having a command system that provided for a streamlined decision-making process. Taiwan undertook a number of proactive measures, including border control, case identification, and measures to contain the virus, and boasting leading R&D, Taiwan very early developed a COVID-19 rapid antigen test. As the member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes noted, Taiwan didn't only have a tremendous record of success internally. Taiwan was among the first to alert the world to the threat of COVID. Taiwan's disease surveillance systems picked up on COVID in 2019, December of 2019, and Taiwan provided among the first reports of COVID to the World Health Organization. And, Madam Speaker, the WHO has recognized Taiwan's leadership in that regard. And not only did Taiwan alert the world at a critical point in time, Taiwan, over the past 2 years, has demonstrated itself to be a force for good, providing PPE not just to Canada, but millions of PPE and rapid tests to countries in need. In that regard, Taiwan has played a critical global role in the fight against COVID. Now, Madam Speaker, Taiwan's leadership in global health is hardly confined to COVID. Taiwan has provided financial assistance, significant financial assistance, and its expertise to address an array of global health challenges. Since 1996, Taiwan has provided some $6 billion in international health and humanitarian assistance benefiting some 80 countries. And Taiwan has been recognized as a leader in terms of its healthcare system. In that regard, Madam Speaker, Taiwan has ranked #1 by some measures in terms of its healthcare system, all of which underscores the absurdity, the absolute absurdity of Taiwan's exclusion from the WHA. Global health and global health security requires coordination, cooperation, and mutual assistance. It follows that Taiwan deserves a seat at the table and must have a seat at the table. That is not only in Taiwan's interests, it is in Canada's interests, it's in the world's interests, because it's in the interests of global health. It's time to take the politics out of the WHA. It's time to stand up to Beijing's bullying. It's time for this House to send a strong, clear, and unanimous message of support for Taiwan's participation in the WHA and WHO. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Well said.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Battle River Crowfoot. Oh, sorry, I'll come to you after.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and appreciate the speech made by my colleague from St. Albert, Edmonton. Madam Speaker, the question that I would pose through you to this member is the signal that's required This motion was agreed to at committee, but I'm wondering if this member would be able to comment further about how important it is to send a strong signal from Canada's House of Commons to the world that Taiwan's inclusion in the WHA and the WHO is important, and the importance of this place being the mechanism to have that show of support.
For St. Albert, Edmonton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank my friend, the member for Battle River Crowfoot, for that important question. It couldn't be more timely. The WHA is set to convene in less than a week. And once again, the Chinese Communist regime is thumbing its nose at global public health. Our allies have been clear and consistent in their support. We've seen resolutions passed in other parliaments, including the European Parliament, and just last Friday, President Biden signed into law legislation to direct the U.S. Secretary of State to develop a strategy for Taiwan's inclusion, legislation that received unanimous support in the U.S. House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate. It would be very fitting that this House of Commons also lent its unanimous support.
Member for Cypress Hills, Grassland.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and it's a very important concurrence debate we're having here right now. I just wanted to get the members' thoughts on Taiwan's exclusion, also from another organization, the ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and what that also means for Taiwan and how important that would be for them.
The honourable member for St. Albert, Edmonton.
I thank the member and my friend from Cypress Hills Grasslands, and yes, he is quite right that Taiwan has been excluded from participating as an observer at ICAO. It's again part of this broader strategy on the part of the Chinese Communist regime to isolate and delegitimize Taiwan. And it is important that Taiwan participate both at ICAO and at the WHA and WHO from a global health standpoint and from a global safety aviation standpoint. In that regard, I would just note that Taiwan has one of the busiest airports in the world at Taipei, with tens of millions of passengers coming through Taipei. And so, again, from simply a civil aviation safety standpoint, it's absurd that Taiwan would be excluded from ICAO.
Member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Speaker, an honourable colleague for St. Albert, Edmonton. I note parenthetically, and the honourable members may be interested to know, there's a Green Party of Taiwan that contributes to our global Greens meetings with very large delegations, because we're one of the only international organizations that allows them to come. They come in large numbers. But I'm puzzled by the debate we're having now, because unless I've missed something, we're debating a concurrence report that recommends that Taiwan be allowed to participate in the World Health Association and the World Health Organization. Have I misunderstood this? I'm trying to understand the point of the debate at the moment, since it appears that the concurrence report supports the point that the honourable members are making.
The member for St. Albert, Edmonton.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker, and this is an opportunity for this House to speak with one voice. That is the purpose of this debate and the vote that will be triggered as a result.
The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Well, thanks, Madam Speaker, and I too want to thank the honourable member for St. Albert, Edmonton for his remarks and his answers to the questions. And in response to the member for Cypress Hills Grasslands, he talked about the aviation safety, and I just want to pick up on that point and ask him about the exclusion of Taiwan from Interpol, and to see to whose benefit is it to exclude them from all of these agencies, whether it's a criminal, tracking criminals, or aviation safety, or the WHO or the WHA. Who's benefiting from that when a democracy, a responsible actor like Taiwan, an ally of ours, is excluded?
Honourable member for St. Albert, Edmonton, 10 seconds.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The world is not benefiting from Taiwan's exclusion. It is straight up bullying from the Chinese Communist regime, and we need to stand up against that.